All right, hello, wine-drinking people. Today is Thursday, the 12th of February, getting ready to take down a bunch of wines from one of California's great producers of Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Kistler Vineyards. We have one or two seats left for that tonight, but our big Chateau Quinault tasting tomorrow evening. And then we got a little bit of a break here. Next week, we got Benjamin Romeo Contador and Lisa Forbes from Chalk Hill Winery. That's a little break, just two events for us. And today, we have got one killer little Saint Emilion to sell you, Chateau Quinault L'Enclos, which this chateau gets its name from a famous writer, Philippe Quinault, who lived in the 17th century, very popular with Parisian dramatist and a librettist at that time. And this property was bought by Dr. Reynaud, one of the most famous consultants in Bordeaux. He also made wine for Colgan Cellars in Napa Valley, California. I don't know if he still does, but he owns Chateau La Fleur de Guay and supervises Chateau Las Combes, and I believe he owns La Croix de Guay also. So one of the better-known consultants in Bordeaux. And well, he bought this property because, well, there was going to be some Germans moving in. I guess the French still have a little adversity to the Germans. So a German real estate moved in, was planning to buy this famous property, and he said, I'll buy it. And the bank gave him a 100% mortgage on it, rumor has it. And unfortunately, the banks are willing to give you just about anything when times are good. But, yeah, when times turn south, the bank said, sorry, doctor, we want our cash. And he had to sell out, and fortunately for him, Bernard Arnault and Albert Frères were right there in line. They're the co-owners of Chateau Cheval Blanc and Yquem and Tour de Pin. So you can rest assured the wines of Chateau Quinault L'Enclos, even though no longer owned by Dr. Reynaud, he still consults there, still a top-level property in Saint Emilion. And they rose through the ranks very quickly. You know, when you get high Parker scores and your price is very reasonable, well, the price got upwards of $100 for some of the great old vintages like the 98. Well, you know, you see a big variety of prices in Bordeaux. You could probably still find that wine for $60 to $100, so a $40 swing there with some great older vintages that got really good press. This 2009 vintage is an outstanding vintage. Well, let me just say the greatest vintage in Bordeaux history. If you look at just the numbers, which that is the thing that drives prices in Bordeaux, 20 wines rated 100 points from Robert Parker Jr., who is the authority. And this wine got 92 points. I always say you can't drink points, but you are going to pay for them. I'd rather have the 92 to 94 point rated wines because the price is going to be more reasonable. And I knew the wines from 2009, 2010, some of them like this Quinault L'Enclos were going to come down in price. We have got an amazing price on this wine on sale for $39. It is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, or mostly Merlot, 65%, 20 Cabernet Sauvignon, and 5% Malbec, which is a pretty high amount of Malbec for a wine from Bordeaux. Usually you just see a tiny amount of that in the blend. This wine has got some lovely plum and dark cherry fruit, and it's got some nice wood spice to it, and a nice earthy component that you get from Bordeaux. These 2009s have got a lot of luscious forward fruit, and the tannins are there, but they're very ripe and very seductive. This is more like a California-esque vintage and somewhat drinkable right now for such a young year, but these are wines that have wonderful balance, wonderful acidity, something that you need to age wine long term. So check it out, our special offer on this 2009 vintage of Quinault L'Enclos, Grand Cru Saint Emilion. I'm your host, Andrew Lampisoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.